Shalom Achaim Rabbatai, Shalom Bracha, Bezrat Hashem Yischut HaTzadik Rabbi Chaim Pita Kadosh Baruch Hu bless our entire community with bracha and tzlacha and siyat nishma gdola. May all our prayers be accepted beratzon. May this week be a week of complete redemption. Amen. Kin Yatzon Bat Hashem.
Amen.
You know what we start this week's parasha. Ve'el HaMishpatim Asher Tasim Lifneim. All Chazal ask, what is this reason that we see that there is a vav with Ve'el HaMishpatim Asher Tasim Lifneim? In Hebrew, the letter vav before a word is acted like an end. Usually the word "and" implies that there is something that came before. Chazal explain that usually when we see that there is a vav that seemingly doesn't have a purpose in the text, it's a place where HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted us to understand that there is something we need to pull out from it. There's something we must extract. There's a lesson to be learned here. So the question is, what can we learn from last week's parasha, Aseret HaDibot, the receiving of Judaism, the receiving of the Torah, to this week's parasha, laws, order, mishpatim, slavery laws, damage laws? What's the connection between one another? So it's a beautiful concept that we see, that we could try to understand, the idea of Shema Yisrael. We know that Shema Yisrael is a mitzvah of Deoraita that we must do in the morning and we must do in the night. Chazal explain the reason of doing Shema Yisrael in the morning and Shema Yisrael at night is for two different purposes. The first purpose, that a person brings upon himself Ol Malchut Shamayim, essentially announcing his faith and bringing down Hashem's presence as his leader, his God, his creator, the entity that's giving him sustenance. And side by side with that, there's the idea that Shema Yisrael concludes the entire Torah Kula. And there's all these different explanations on why Shema Yisrael is really like the entire Torah. That's one of the reasons that when a person has v'shalom, if he's in the last moment of his life, he does Shema Yisrael. Because within Shema Yisrael, there's their entire Torah. Now, what's very, very interesting is that last week's parasha, we see to this concept a very few amount of words, like Shema Yisrael, that we hold that include the entire Torah Kula, and that is what? Aseret HaDibot. So we could try to now come to a question or some sort of clue that we see that this idea of doing Shema Yisrael, which is essentially bringing down our faith, has something to do with Aseret HaDibot, being that it includes the entire Torah Kula. So what is it? So now, there is a famous teaching of this concept of what is Na'aseh V'Nishma, which really Na'aseh V'Nishma was the sentence that Bnei Yisrael took upon themselves that really got them the Torah, which Na'aseh V'Nishma means we will do, and then we will hear what? We always ask, how can a person do it and hear what? It makes no sense. And the answer that we think that it's most appropriate, that makes sense only in one context. It makes sense when there is love involved. When there is love involved, a person that a person is very fond of, a person one cares for a lot, even if the details are not present and not known, the love and the dedication and the desire to give to someone that's so close to the individual overrides it all. It's like a husband and wife. The wife comes to the husband and says, you know, my husband, I want something. A husband that loves his wife won't even ask what. He will say, B'simcha, it's yours. If I can buy it, it's yours. It's taking upon a person an action, a deed, without even knowing what. The idea of Na'aseh V'Nishma was Bnei Israel's dedication and expression of love for HaKadosh Baruch Hu, where they stood up and they told HaKadosh Baruch Hu, regardless on what it is, we will accept it. Because the love that Bnei Israel had was so deep that it was essentially above all. As a result of that, HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave Bnei Israel Aseret HaDibot. Aseret HaDibot was a direct result of Na'aseh V'Nishma. We said, maybe we can understand something very simple. In our Torah, there's so many laws, there's so many details, there's so many little variations of mitzvot that we can do in different ways and perform them in different times. The Torah is full of little details. But we're not allowed to get ourselves caught up in the details. Because the bottom line, there is one mitzvah, that this one mitzvah will essentially cause us to fulfill the entire Torah Kula. And it's the simple mitzvah of Na'aseh V'Nishma. What's Na'aseh V'Nishma? Love for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That the love for HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the most important mitzvah, because it's the only mitzvah that will cause you to look at all the details and have the courage and desire to actually take them upon yourself. and not vice versa. When we look in our day-to-day life, we are not allowed to get intimidated, afraid, stressed, overwhelmed by all the little details that a Jew must fulfill on a day-to-day basis. But rather the most important mitzvah, in the mitzvah that the person must focus on a daily basis, is the mitzvah of Ahavat HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Because the love will cause you to fulfill all the details. The details will not cause you to love. Maybe we can say that's the idea behind Shema Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, v'ahavta Hashem Elokecha v'chol levavecha u'v'chol nefshecha u'v'chol meodecha. It is a love that is so deep. It's a prayer that expresses our love to a level where we don't look at all the Torah as a package of details, but rather as an entity, a relationship, a friendship, someone that's so close to each and every one of us. Maybe we can say that the connection between last week's parasha and this week's parasha is very simple. If we perform last week's parasha well, and we come to a place of love of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, all the details and all the mishpatim and all the laws and all the mitzvot and all what we're allowed and not allowed and shouldn't do, it is all something that will come with ease only when love is present. So Be'ezrat Hashem, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will give us all the ability to truly feel HaKadosh Baruch Hu's presence within our life, to seek Him and to build a relationship with Him, in order that we will all come to a place of being able to fulfill all the mitzvot to their details with ease, with excitement, and with a lot that Hashem have great kavanah and kinyat.
Amen.